What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I am back again for another build guide for you all to try for yourselves. I am determined to make Steady Shot as good as I possibly can, and this build pushes it to the absolute limit of its power. Today we will go over the Cat Form Steady Shot Hybrid Hunter build, one that uses both Cat Form and Berserker Stance, along with some seriously high critical strikes to pump out the highest DPS I have been able to accomplish to date. I was able to nearly break 15,000 sustained DPS and achieved a personal best of 21,200 burst DPS. Still a fairly simple build overall, but I would say it's in that next level of complexity just above the last build I did. Can't get much easier than 2 buttons, right? I promise once you get the hang of this build, you will be grinning from ear to ear every second you play it, just like me when I was making it for this video. A link to the build and timestamps will be found down in the description. Remember that it only takes a few seconds, but subscribing below and leaving a like will get this video out to as many people as possible. Let's dive into the video. To start, let's go over the easiest part of any build guide, the random enchants and the stat priority. You know the drill by now, let's talk about the Legendary, a returning star from the last build guide. We are once again using Compound Power. Even though this build does not utilize the damage from the compound shots, the haste we gain from being able to use Slice and Dice puts this legendary random enchant leagues above anything else for this build. I tried over 15 different legendaries when making this build, so I can say for certain it is the best. Way to go, Compound Power, you kick ass. The 3 epic REs used for this hybrid build are as follows: Munitions Expert, Fancy Footwork, and Primal Frenzy. Munitions Expert, again, is just too good not to use. That haste buff for this build is an unbelievable boost to our performance, but I don't think I have to convince anyone here about how good this RE really is. Fancy Footwork is a new one for me, haven't used it before, but increasing physical damage by even 5% is a massive damage increase, and the reduction in threat is nice as well. Primal Frenzy allows for a nice extra bump to our overall physical damage without having to think about it or use a cooldown. Now, you may be tempted to use one with the hunt instead of Primal Frenzy, but I promise you the extra GCD used to cast Mangle is an extreme DPS loss, upwards of 15% from my testing. The other REs used for this build are 3 Survival Instincts, 3 Ferocious Inspiration, 3 Rip Shot, 3 Focused Steady Shot, and 1 Mortal Shots. If you're struggling for hit, go ahead and swap out the Mortal Shots for the Precision RE to help meet the 8% breakpoint. The stat priority for this build is as follows: Agility, Attack Power, Intellect, Hit until 8%, and then Crit Rating. A quick question I actually have for the devs and to anyone who watches this video who may know. The way the focused REs seem to work is to scale any percentage modifiers that affect the skill, not the skill itself. For example, the 9% steady shot damage or the 20% crit damage to hunter shots taken on the talent tree. Could I possibly get a confirmation from the devs to how this works exactly? The flat 2% damage to Steady Shot, a very similar RE, does not increase the damage as much as the focused counterpart. I would love to know because moving forward, I may start to incorporate these focused REs into more of my builds. They seem to be extremely powerful from my testing. Moving right along, let's go over the talent tree and spells. We will go left to right, so feel free to follow along as we go over this together. Starting with the Druid, we take Innervate in the balance tree just for the mana regen. Over in the Feral tree, we take Cat Form and Rip. The talents here, we take our King of the Jungle. Over in the Hunter tree, we take Aspect of the Hawk, Tame Beast. The talents we take here are 5 improved Aspect of the Hawk, 3 points into Ferocious Inspiration, and 5 points into Serpent Swiftness. Over in Marksmanship, the spells we take are Arcane Shot, Auto Shot, Rapid Fire, Steady Shot, and Volley. The talents we take here are 3 points into Careful Aim, 3 points into Mortal Shots, 3 points into Combat Experience, 3 points into Ranged Weapon Specialization, 3 points into Piercing Shots, 3 points into Master Marksman, and 5 points into Marked for Death. Over in Survival Tree, the spells we take here are Feign Death. The talents we take are 3 points into Survival Instincts, 3 points into Expose Weakness, 3 points into Master Tactician, and 3 points into Sniper Training. Over here in the Mage Tree, we take Conjure Mana Gem for some extra mana regen. Over in the Rogue Tree, we take Slice and Dice and Poisons. The talents we take here are 2 points into Cut to the Chase and 1 point into Hunger for Blood. Even though we don't take 3 points into this, we use so many finishers in this build, the chance of you not getting the proc of this is extremely unlikely. In the combat tree, we take Feint for our E, and over in the subtlety tree, we take 3 points into deadliness and 3 points into honor among thieves. Over in the shaman tree, we take Rockbiter Weapon. Over in restoration, we take Mana Spring Totem and Water Shield. You can look to switch out Mana Spring Totem for something else if your raid already runs it. The last couple points we take are Life Tap over in the Warlock tree, just in case you need a little bit more mana during the fight. And the last couple points we take is Berserker Stance over here in Fury Warrior, and the talent here we take is Death Wish. The last spell we pick up is Blood Rage, just to generate enough rage to use your cooldowns before the fight. The next part of any good build guide would be the rotation and gameplay explanation. You start the fight off with a single steady shot, you will then use your Slice and Dice. You will use another steady shot and immediately swap to cat form, where you will use Rip. Once Rip is applied to the target, you will swap back into Berserker Stance, step back, and start using steady shot. Upon reaching 5 combo points, use your fancy footwork and continue to use steady shot. When Rip has 1 second or less left in the duration, swap back to cat form and use Rip again. From here, you repeat the rotation, using cooldowns when they are available. Let's go ahead and jump over in game to show you what it actually looks like. This will be the unscripted part of the video, so please forgive me if I sound a little bit rambly. Alright, here we are at the Shattrath training dummy. Since I've already explained the rotation, I'm not going to spend too much time explaining it again. I just want to show you guys what this looks like in real time. So you start the fight off by using steady shot. Then you're going to use Slice and Dice for your first combo point. Use another steady shot. Go into cat form. Use Rip. Use Berserker Stance and come back out. At this point, all I do is just generate combo points until I have 5, use my fancy footwork, use my hunger for blood, and continue to spam steady shot until I have to use Rip again. Boom, use Rip again, come back out, and at this point, all I do is just maintain my mana and use cooldowns. Not a super complicated rotation, but is a little finicky at first until you get enough practice with it. So the way that I have my bars set up to accomplish this build is fairly simple. I have my spam ability on number 4 and my cat ability on number 3. I have Rip also on number 3, so once I get into cat form, I can spam Rip on the target until I see it, and once I see Rip on the target, then I can use Berserker Stance, and then get out and start spamming steady shot. Fairly simple. I will leave you guys like I always do in these build guides with the 5-minute Patchwerk dummy test. This build is so damn fun to play, and I really hope you guys enjoy it as well. And with that, this video is done. Subscribe below for more content. I will see you in the next one.